Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and I have my lovely hostess in the studio with me today, Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Daphne Lynn.
Hello, Ashton Lewis, and every listener out there.
Oh, yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome all across the world. Thank you for being a part of the show and for tuning in and all that really good stuff. We can't do this without you, and we thank you so much for all of you. And welcome those who are here for the first time. Welcome, and of course, those who are returning. Always welcome back.
Yes, we love and appreciate you guys so much. And the podcast is growing so much and so fast. And it is good to see because that is the hand of the Great Spirit that's guiding and directing us and putting it on those people's hearts to really search out other truths that are relative to us.
Yeah. And I so love doing this, Daphne. And, I've noticed these days, it seems like there's a lot more people. We're all in this together. There are lots of people that are starting to kind of do these podcasts and these interviews.
Yes, lots of them.
So I'm so glad we're all waking up and doing this together as a team and really getting all this information out there.
Yes.
Because it's going to take all of us. So, guys, anything you guys can do and share your experiences with any of these podcasters, any videos you can do, any audios, anything you can do, because it really reinforces the actual, the concept of the near-death experience world.
Yeah, and it's really about raising the consciousness of every individual out here and helping everyone to remember who and what we truly are as a collective human race, as part of the divine.
Yeah.
And when we can realize that we are one with everyone, with everything, everywhere, even the nothingness, that's profound and can really change your life.
The one within,
That's
without, right. Everywhere, up, down, behind us, everywhere. The
famous words. The Father and I are one.
Yeah.
He was very well aware of who
very
and what
oneness.
He was. Exactly, yeah.
This is true. Guys, don't forget to go to the website, nde.world, for more information. And we have all of the podcasts and episodes and all that good stuff there. So, again, that website is?
NDE.WORLD.
Well, jumping right into it, today's question is, let's see. It's asked the question. It actually kind of, what do you get out of this, Daphne? It's kind of like a mix here. Well, let's see where we're going to go with this here. They asked the question, where is the afterlife? Okay. And the question is it outside of the universe? Okay, so we've got kind of a couple different things here. They're asking about the afterlife, then they're asking about the universe, because then it jumps over here. It says that many people state that we are one with the universe, that we are the universe. Mm-hmm. Many people also state that we are eternal. Mm-hmm. And many people talk about the idea that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. People also talk about how the past, present, and future are all happening at once. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in this here.
There really is. I'm looking forward to reading the answers.
So what's the question? How do we address this here? It's more specifically maybe your afterlife. What happens to you? If you are the universe, if we are all part of this, how is it tied in with the afterlife kind of thing? Well, I tell you what. Let's just jump in and see what these actual near-death experiencers have experienced and see what they've got to say about it. So, yeah. Daphne, if you want to go ahead and just maybe jump on that first comment there, we'll get the show started.
Well, let's do it then. All right, so there is literally nothing outside of you. Simple phrase, yet very hard to explain to a human mind. However, in the experience of life in the universe, all realms, dimensions are on top of each other. All you need to do is change the frequency to experience that density.
Okay. There's quite a few good points in here.
Yeah, so it seems like the answers are going to be leaning more toward the universe and
That's what I'm wondering.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as long as we can get some information and grab these nuggets out of it, because that's what I love about this. Everybody's got something good to say. You can learn from everybody.
Exactly. And, the opening comment, the first sentence in that is, there is literally nothing outside you. And what we were speaking of earlier, everything is part of you. You are part of everything. So.
Yeah. Now, when we say that, guys, you have to understand is there is what we call the universal spirit that is in all of us, in our core. Now, we also got to understand that we have separated ourselves from that being, okay? So even though we are all part of that one, we are of the universal one, most people really aren't aware of it, but a lot of people are awakening to that, So
Yes.
we have to understand that. And really what it's going to come down to is really, really, really understanding the ego, the self, what you've created, what you have built to believe
The
that it's
separateness.
actually you, that you are actually separate from everything, everyone, everybody. Yeah.
But you're really not. I mean,
You're
so you really have to get past the he and them and the
Right.
you know.
Us and them. And
yes.
yeah. Well, because the separation or the illusion of separation is what creates self.
Yes.
And once self is aware of self, you have selfish, and then you have selfishness. So the separation or the illusion of separation, it really is an illusion, for
Yes.
lack of words, that we really are, but at a core level. But the challenge is we've separated from that, okay? And most people identify more or less with the ego. And that's going to be your hardest monster you're going to have to destroy in your life is yourself, because the self is what's the illusion that you are separate from everything else, You have to love yourself. I know this is kind of ironic, you got to love yourself, but at the same time you've got to kill yourself,
The dichotomy.
It's a dichotomy for sure.
Yeah.
The actual self, when we say love yourself, is love the God within you. That's the being. Love that, okay? And kill yourself would be the monster or the ego that you have created.
The story. You've got to get past the story of your life, who you think you are.
All of your indoctrinations from since you were an infant. What your parents put in you, your schools put in you, your churches, your preachers and teachers, and the media, the music, the radios, the television, everything. You're not who you are, and you're not who you think you are. Nobody is.
No,
You may have
that's what we have to go within.
2 or 3 people, few people on earth that are what I would call that are enlightened souls.
Right. You can't go externally to find something that's already within.
Right. So
Right.
we're talking about the universal spirit that is in all of humanity, that is in all of the animals, that in all of nature, all of life, the sun, the moon, the stars. That's what we are.
Yeah. And another comment in this, and I have read this, I'm aware of this, but to really just grasp and get a hold of this has been something that's taken a lot for me to just really comprehend. Because it says, in the experience of life in the universe, all realms and dimensions are on top of each other. So like everything is happening all at once because there is only the eternal now.
Right. Okay.
There's not the past, there's not the future. It's the moment of right here, right now. What are you doing in this moment?
And that doesn't even count because there's no such thing as the now because it's already gone.
Exactly.
So time is constant.
Yes. And
what we call time, the illusion of time. Yeah.
Other realities and realms are all here together.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's mind-boggling.
It is.
It really is.
It would be just like, and it's not hard, spiritual, religious or not, most people can understand that although we're all here humans, we're spiritual beings, angelic in the sense, but having these human experiences, but there is a sense of, although we can't really see it, but a lot of people, we should have an understanding that even right here where we're at, there is what we would call the spirit realm. So that
The
would
seen
be
and unseen, yeah.
That would be another dimension. Like it says here,
Yes.
the universe is made up of all these realms and dimensions. Well, the spirit realm or the dimension could be or would be another dimension.
Right.
Which would, I like how it wraps up here, the last one. It says that all you need to do is change the frequency to experience that density.
Yes.
So if we all vibrate at different vibrations, then frequencies, and that even happens in our life as humans on this level. The higher vibration, the higher the type of vibrational things you'll bring into your life. You have to be on that frequency.
Exactly. It's because everything is energy.
It is.
We have to stop looking at everything as the hard copy of everything, because we are more than just that.
All is mind, and mind is that energy that we call God.
Yeah.
Our source.
Well said.
Okie dokie. Well, this next one, let's jump into, it says that I'll try to explain the best I can over text. Okay? Everything, including our bodies, is made up of atoms and particles. And each one of those is vibrating at a certain frequency. Depending on the frequency they're vibrating on, you will see something more solid or less solid. When they come together, they create a solid, but when you break them down, you can't see them. And everything that's vibrating responds to either positive or negative ions or energy. And that's why they say raise your vibration by speaking positively and stopping judgmental thinking. Because that is what is going to help transcend us past this three-dimensional earth and bodies that we have created.
I thought it was very well said. Is breaking down what we were previously saying about everything's energy. So yeah, and it's about raising that vibration and changing your negative thoughts into positive thoughts. When you're judging something or someone, that's going into a negative form. That's why so many people from these experiences come back saying you have to stop being judgmental of everything and everyone, because that lowers your vibration and that creates the separateness.
Yeah. The only time you are to use judgment is when it's something you have to base your life on. In other words, you may have to make a decision. You may want to, let's say, for example, you may have a certain crowd or a certain group of people that may not be the best influence for you spiritually. You have to make a judgment on whether or not it's good to go hang out with these people or maybe just stay away and, focus on your spirituality. That's just a basic demonstration, but that's where you use judgment in the truest sense. You do not have the right, because you're breaking another universal law, the law of non-interference, when you're trying to make like Daphne had said, a judgment call, or you're trying to judge another person according to your standards, according to what you think. You can't. You don't have that right. So most people, you need to just shut up, and keep your mouth shut and listen. There's too many people doing too much talking, and we need to start listening more. We need to start, getting away from the rat race and really going inside and really waking up and really seeing what's going on. Quit the gossiping, okay? Quit the gibberish, quit the bad mouthing, the talking, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything. Just sit back and listen, okay? That tongue, all right, that tongue, you got to get a hold of it. There's a lot of stuff been written in history about that tongue. It can be the most soothing, sweetest thing, like honey dripping, or it can be a freaking
sword,
a sword that will destroy. That can cause wars and destroy masses. So wake up, guys. Quit the freaking judgmental garbage and just wake up. Make a judgment on whether or not this person's good to hang out with or that person's not, and then you can get back to who? You. Okay, find the God within you. Be the higher best of you. Don't spend your time worrying about other people, getting involved with other people, and worrying what you think other people should do according to what you think. All right, that's just some little words of wisdom for you there, guys.
Let everybody just be who they are.
Let people be who they need to be.
Yeah.
We're all on this road together. Everybody's just on different paths. I mean, all the paths are going to the same place.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that came out right.
No, that makes perfect sense to me.
That's
I
what was
totally
trying
get
to
that.
say,
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, great. Would you take the next one then?
Most definitely. Okay, during my experience, I understood that when my consciousness left the world disappeared. Just like how an atom only moves when there is consciousness to observe it. As humans, we have it all backwards. We think consciousness is born of matter, and it's the opposite. Time and space are illusory, and we don't actually go anywhere. We are consciousness that has always been and will always be. The magnitude of the soul cannot be understood while we have the limitation of a human mind. We are not just the character we think we are playing right now. We are many characters. There is part of us that never leaves the other side. Never are we in danger of losing anything or of being hurt. Yes, our physical bodies can be damaged, but they are simply a vehicle for us in this illusion. Wow, this is so reminding me of the Conversations book, this comment. It's like Neil was sitting here in conversation with Source in that comment. Wow.
Well, speaking of Source, that's a good way to look at consciousness, guys. Instead of it being this illusory kind of something that it's this, it's that, just look at, it's God. It's what we call God, that energy, that spirit, that, that's really what consciousness is. It never dies. It's always aware. And the body, the physical, the matter, it gets left here on this plane, but that consciousness, which is that spirit, that God, that is all, that goes on. So easy way to look at, and understand what consciousness is. And like it says here, it's not something that we're producing out of the brain or something like that because we're alive. The fact is that consciousness is aware, even though the brain is not aware or alive or functioning the way it's supposed to. This is all science that's been backed up medically as well. I'm not just saying this, but it's fascinating. It really is. Consciousness is who we are. That spirit, the God, that's all of us. That's what consciousness is. And you can tap into that yourself, and the higher you are of that awareness into that consciousness, the higher of God you are, or that spirituality. You got right now. Everybody's all wrapped up in self.
Yeah, we're wrapped up in the story of who we think we are.
Who we think we are, yeah.
The physical hard copy, like this person brought out, the physical bodies can be damaged, but they are just simply a vehicle for our spiritual self.
Yeah.
Everything else is an illusion. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience.
Yeah.
Once we can grasp this and realize that we can't be hurt, I can give an example. I mean, I'm on the road all the time. I see accidents all the time. Once upon a time, I was like, oh my God, I'd start just totally praying for the person that was involved in the accident, all their families. Now, I still do that, but I have a different mindset on it, because that person, if they lost their quote-unquote life, they're fine. They've moved on. They're in a better position than they ever were here. The people left behind are the ones that's going to experience the loss,
the pain,
the loss, the pain, because we're still in the physical.
Right.
Once you can go past that hard copy, the avatar that we're operating, and realize that we are that spirit, nothing can harm us.
Right.
Even if we lose our quote-unquote life.
You don't.
You lose your life. I hear people say all the time, oh, I'm doing good today, when I ask them how they're doing. I'm on this side of the dirt. And I'm like, and even if you weren't, you'd still be doing good.
Yeah.
We've got to change the thought of the physical, the hard copy here and now.
This is it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like how a lot of these people bring out, they said that's, the other one had, before this one or a couple back, said, our human minds, just understand, guys, there's some things, we can't really be aware of with our limitation, because we've gotten so far away from source. But the closer you get to that source, the more all-knowing you become. And that's what I love about a lot of these near-death experiences. They'll go into the other side, and have those experiences, and they all of a sudden become all-knowing. Well, no, your consciousness, your source tap back into the source, or what we call God.
Yes.
You are all-knowing. You know, so we have to keep in mind a lot of this stuff is really limited right now with a lot, especially with the way we think and the way we've been conditioned.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's hard for people to comprehend that, but to go with that thought, it says like here, we are not just the character we think we are playing right now. We are many characters. Mm-hmm. Now, that's something hard for the human mind to grasp, all right? Mm-hmm. And you tell people that, there's not a part of you here on this side and this part of the realm, and there's another part of you on the other side, and it's not easy for humans to understand that because that's not the way we're all conditioned. Also, I like how it brings out, it says, never are we in danger of losing anything or of being hurt, kind of like you were saying earlier.
Yes. We have it all backwards on this side.
Yeah.
We have to strip away everything that we have been programmed with.
That we think we know.
The killing of self is what we relate that to. And then being born anew. That is that transformation where you realize you are the consciousness, you are the one with everything, everyone, and then just really staying on that level. And every time you come across someone, how can I be of service to this person instead of shutting everyone out because they're not part of your
something
circle.
Separate than you too.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard. I'm still working on that because I'm actually going through that transformation myself. To go from looking at me and looking at you and looking at him and looking at her and look at them and all. It's hard. You've got X amount of years, and the older we are, the more years we've got. But you have a certain way of perceiving life and looking at things. You see things as separate. It's just how we identify things. But it takes a really training to really work on yourself first until you get yourself fixed. It's going to be hard. But start doing that. Start seeing people as the divine, as the one and the all, experiencing life here with you in different forms, in different shapes.
Yes.
We all are one.
Yes.
And it takes a training, and the more spiritually you develop, and the more you become, enlightened and things like that, the easier it is to start seeing those things.
Yes.
But you can start it right now.
Yes.
Anybody can. So.
Exactly. And that's why I've said before, start right here, right now. When you walk out your door, whatever you're going to do, take and every person you come across, realize, hey, that person's God in their form. And ask that question, how can you help this person? And I'm not talking monetarily. I mean, I'm talking, how can you be of service to this person to where you're realizing you are one with that person?
Yeah. You have to become one yourself. And then once you become enlightened, all you have to do is share that light and pass that light. That is it. Now,
right. And just be.
And just be. Don't do, just be.
Right. That's mentioned in the Conversations book a lot.
Exactly. When the truth is we're supposed to be here just to be. But,
yes.
Things have been tampered with and kind of like
our minds
thrown
is all
off
messed
balance.
up.
Yes. We are works in progress and have all been hoodwinked.
We've been hoodwinked.
This
Take that
next one
mask
here.
off. And put your boots on.
Put your boots on. This next comment here says, the universe is expanding and there is no limit. It will not cease. If you consider the universe as everything we can see and all that we cannot see, I don't know how anything could be outside of it. It will not cease. Parts can and will change, but it will not cease, nor will you. Your body will quit functioning eventually, but you are so much more than your body. From what we have read from NDEs, you'll enjoy what's next far more than what you experience now.
Yeah, very true.
I hear that a lot too.
Yes.
They say even the death experience is supposed to be one of the most beautiful experiences you'll ever experience. It may seem horrible and tragic on this side because we don't really have a grasp on what's going on. Mm-hmm. But people who have had these experiences say it's the most beautiful thing you'll ever experience.
Oh, yeah. And, I love the way that some of our guests have said, looking back on their physical body, they had no attachments to it in the soul form, but they were very thankful and appreciative to their physical form for having carried them their journey.
Right.
So they realize that they are not that physical form.
Your body is the only vehicle that you've got.
That's why we're supposed to take care of it.
That's right. Your body is the only vehicle you've got in this incarnation, guys.
It needs
Now,
maintenance from time to time,
it
like
needs
the physical
maintenance.
car.
Unlike a regular car, a truck that we go out and buy, if something happens, take it to the mechanic, get it fixed, or eventually trade that sucker in, or go get you another one or whatever. You can have multiple cars and trucks throughout your life, But
Well,
you've
it's
only
not
got
that way
one
with
you.
this way.
You've only got one vehicle, guys, and and it is you. This is who you are. Okay. However, you got to understand, it's just really a casing of the real you. Okay, which is the source or life or God or that consciousness, whatever you want to call it. The spiritual you that keeps on going, because that's the part that can't die.
Yes, well said.
Okay, well, what would you like to take the next one, Miss Daphne?
This is a hard concept to understand while we are having a human experience. There is no afterlife because life is eternal. We aren't born and we don't die. We just are. Pure consciousness, pure awareness, love, and light. The physical worlds will ebb and flow and change, but our true selves are eternal. Our physical body is a vessel that a small stream of our consciousness is focused in, having a physical experience, and when the experience comes to a close, the stream that we identify with at this time will re-emerge back to the greater part of us, like closing your eyes here and opening them again there. That place is here. It isn't out there. We aren't in the sky. We are just on a different frequency. Time is a dimension here in our physical world. Time doesn't exist on a higher frequency. That is how everything is happening simultaneously. This is also why we think of past lives and future lives, but in reality, it is all now. I think a more accurate term is parallel lives. However, while we are experiencing a time-based dimension that has beginning, a middle, and an end, our understanding will only ever be a drop in the ocean of information. Our reason for being here isn't to discover the information. The greater part of us already knows it. It is to have as many physical experiences as we can, and while experiencing physical emotions and situations, to learn to be compassionate, kind, and come from a place of unity. Our physical death is not something to be feared. It's inevitable. It is just a form of transition.
Beautiful, well said words from this beautiful soul.
This is straight from source.
It is. Every single word of this resonated with me. Every single word.
Yeah. Whoever commented on this was channeling source.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it so ties in with the Conversations book. And I know I'm referencing that a lot, but it's a book I'm in right now.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, let's go ahead and break this down. Again, like it says, this is a hard concept to understand while we are having a human experience. And that's the challenge, guys. We're trying to explain what we would call supernatural, but they're really natural in the truest sense, but we've just gotten away from that. Things from a human perspective that's been conditioned and kind of like dumbed down, for lack of words,
Right.
We really, truly already knew all this stuff. And I like how this person brings it out. You hear a lot of people say that, well, we've come here to learn. That's a good perspective, okay? And I'm not going to say it's good or bad, because you do learn a lot. I don't think that's your purpose here. I think, like this person says here, you are here to experience, just to experience what it is to love, to laugh, to be compassionate, to experience things in this world as a what it would be like in this form, being
Right.
God, having this experience.
Right, that's what I was going to say. We're
Because
here.
you already know everything. So if you already know what, you're not really here to learn. What do you learn? The garbage that they call education? That's not learning.
Right.
The stuff on TV and the preachers and the teachers and all that, that's not learning. You see, that's building of the self. Mm-hmm. So you're not really here to learn.
No, we're here to experience and be
just
and
be.
remember who
Who we
we
are.
are as the divine.
Yes.
And that's the way this person kind of brought it out is, the physical world's ebb and flow, but our true selves are eternal. And there's beauty when you can realize that and remember who you are as the divine.
Yeah, and like I says here that, when that time comes, the physical, of course, goes back to the earth. The body, the matter breaks down. It's going to. It's inevitable. You're going to transition, guys. There's no such thing as death. And that's what we really need to focus on here. And there's no such thing as the afterlife. There is just life in many forms and transitions, and it just keeps on going. So that, once you start looking at it that way as well, I grew up as well, Daphne, you as well. We all grew up with the understanding and the concept of life and death. Well, once you start really, getting into this stuff and really looking into it, you understand that, no, there's no such thing as death. There's no such thing as afterlife. These are just human terms that we use to be able to understand our reality here and what happens from here afterwards. So
Right.
just keep that in mind.
There's a sentence right in the middle of this whole comment. It says, however, while we are experiencing a time-based dimension, our physical form, that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Our understanding will only ever be, just one drop in that ocean of information. So we are one little tiny speck in the wealth of information that's out there, the knowledge from source.
Yeah, think about that. And like it says here, what about this part here, that once you transition here, the part of you is simply goes back to,
Yeah.
the real you. That's everything is reconnects, which is source,
Yeah.
or what we call God.
Yeah, and we were saying earlier, our reason for being here is to discover the information. The greater part of us, our higher self, already knows it.
Right.
Because it's still on the other dimension with source.
Yeah.
So we're just going to be returning back to source and regaining all that information. We have to remember we're part of that source now.
An easy way to think of it and look at it, Daphne, is spirit doesn't know what it's like to be physical.
That's why it created all of us,
It's
to
a different-
experience.
Correct. That's what the earth plane is about. To be able to experience what's it like to be human.
Yeah.
And the challenges as humans themselves, because the greatest gift that the Creator has given us is the gift of free will. And
And it would never take that away from us.
exactly, and that's been tampered with. It's been, demonized and controlled by, constructions, constructs, churches, religious systems, and things like that.
Yeah, and
To
source
control our minds.
that give us this life to experience for source itself would never condemn us or take away that free will, because we did choose to live however we lived. Because it's experience in itself. Why would it condemn itself?
Yeah, it's nothing to condemn.
Exactly. Everything just is, and you are experiencing for source.
Condemnation is a human construct as well, and the gods that
For
humans
power
have
and control.
created, they give their gods that power as well, condemnating gods, I'm going to condemn you to eternity or whatever,
We threw all of our conditional love on an unconditional God.
Yeah, we've created that.
Yes.
In the beginning, man created God in their image.
Yeah.
Moving right on along. This person says, I have not had an NDE, but being an interested party, I find that there's enough supporting evidence about multiple universes. So essentially, cosmology theories are now saying it's possible universes are like a bubble amongst other bubbles, and some coverage, and so on. Any comments, Daphne? This kind of ties in with that concept of multiverse. The multiverse,
Yeah.
like
It does.
it goes on. And let's say, this is all hypothetical because nobody knows. I'm just going to kind of chime in real quick here. This person, they use the analogy of a bubble amongst other bubbles. We hear that a lot, with, say like, I don't want to say stars, but constellations, galaxies. So they say, grapes, for example, soul clusters, soul groups. You hear these things. So it's a very interesting concept. I don't know. Maybe there is universes upon universe. I've always thought that all those were within this one here where we're at, but I think we're looking at it from a physical perspective. It's limited. Yeah, so we're limited in our knowledge and understanding here. I think the way we're trying to look at it, yeah. So if we look at it maybe spiritually perspective, yeah, those bubbles can go on and on and on and on into unlimited universes. Imagine that, unlimited worlds, unlimited. Why not? Mm-hmm. We're only limited with our imagination and our mind, and limited minds, but why not? Are there any limits for Source? No. I wouldn't think so. No. Miss Daphne, would you like to grab the next one there, please?
Everything is energy, light, in a different state of existence. Solid, liquid, gas, plasma charged gas. Atoms in these states vibrate to different levels of frequencies. These vibrational frequencies for us translate into energy in motion, emotions, feelings, which gives us the capability of experiencing and sensing. When the physical body ceases to function, it is because its energetic source, the soul, separated by severing the energetic cords that tethered them together. The physical body, much like a car without its battery, cannot function and ceases to feel and have motion.
Nice. I like these little analogies this person brings out here. Especially the part here where it says that, using the analogy of a battery, think about your soul or your life source as the battery of your vehicle. Remember your car?
Yes.
When we said earlier, you've only got one car. Yeah. So your spirit or that source, that life that's powering it, that is you. That's who you are. You are in this vessel. So I like how it brought out here that, when it is separated, and I wonder if it's maybe has something to do with the silver cord phenomena. I don't know much about it, but I've heard that, the silver cord.
Yes, I believe that.
If it's attached, that's attached to that soul. That could be that power cord. That's from how the battery's charging up the being or whatever. Yeah. And like it says, once that silver cord is cut, then you can't come back to this body. And I'm only quoting out of just what I've heard. I don't really know. So do you know anything about that? The silver cord phenomenon?
I tend to believe that, yeah. I've heard that read that in a couple of different books and stuff. And heard it through a couple of our review NDE episodes. So I do tend to believe that. I like the way the person also brought out here that these vibrational frequencies for us translate into energy in motion. Now put these words together. Emotion, which is feeling. So energy in motion is emotions.
Yeah, the feelings. Mm-hmm. That's the energy, that's the love, that's the God, that's the you.
And that's what's capable of experiencing and sensing things.
Right. And it does it in this vehicle, this automobile.
Yes. The avatar.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good, very good. But again, it just shows you how everything is energy. Everything is, light in different states, and everything vibrates at different frequencies. That's actually one of the laws of, the universe. Actually, at least within the Hermetic principles, Mm-hmm. All righty, Miss Daphne, we got time to go ahead and let's go ahead and we got one more here. Let's go ahead and wrap up with this last one. It's kind of windy here, so would you like to take that one there? Do you mind?
Well, you always want to give me the windy ones.
And,
no, I'm just kidding.
I'll be glad to take it.
No, I'm kidding.
And
okay.
We'll go ahead and wrap up with this one.
Sounds good.
Okay.
The foundational material is the same one for everything: energy, source light, and love. What distinguishes us from one another is our soul and its vibrational frequency or energy in motion, emotions. For each of us, this unique emotional frequency will always determine what each of us experiences, whether embodied or not. What the soul is always working on in each life is to get rid of all the low vibrational attachments he or she has, and can finally and fully fuse, become one with Source, Light, Love. Source, Light, and Love simply is. It doesn't have or need any emotional attachments. Judgment is an emotional attachment that qualifies the vast majority of souls, but not Source. That is pure consciousness, light, and pure love, the highest vibrational frequency there is. I hope this helps.
Very good. And a good one to wrap things up on.
Yes.
Lots of good stuff in here. A lot of it ties in with kind of like with the one you had just previously read, energy and motion, emotions and things like that. But the one that really sticks out, Daphne, I like right here. What the soul is always working on in each life, think about this, guys.
Yes.
Is to get rid of all of the low vibrational attachments that they have, and can finally and fully fuse and become one with Source, Light, or what we call love, or God.
Yeah.
So that's my understanding as well. We have to put forth the effort to destroy the ego, that separate self, and get back to that oneness, which is our higher self, or back to that what we call God. Because the self is where all of that low vibrational energy is going to come from, because you're just worried about what you want. You're only more concerned about what you can get out of this and what you can get from others, and that's more of the self.
A low vibration, yeah.
Yeah. And everything that comes with that is all filtered in a low density. So you have to destroy the self.
Raise your vibration.
Yeah, you're going to have to be crucified, guys. That's the that's the term.
Yep.
Okay, so and what else, Daphne? Got actually a few of them here.
I love the way this person brought out Source, Light, and Love simply is, and I've read that in so many books, and I heard that through so many of these NDEers. That it is non-judgmental. It doesn't have or need any emotional attachments. Judgment is an emotional attachment that qualifies the vast majority of souls, but not Source.
Yes, and it does not desire to be worshipped. And my understanding is worship is one of the most destructive things that the ego, the self, has created, because it's something that it can hold on and keep doing what it wants to do, because it throws that responsibility on something else. And anytime you take the responsibility and throw it on something else, like a lot of religions do, a lot of them say, you don't have to do nothing, or just believe. You just got to believe. You don't have to, work on being enlightened. You don't have to worry about being a spiritual individual. You don't have to worry about, becoming one with the Father, one with the universe, one with the all. You don't have to worry about doing nothing.
There's no realizing your own divinity in that.
There's not, Guys, please see through the illusion.
Yes. See through and raise that vibration.
Yeah, it's going to take work and effort on all of our parts. You're going to have to work on you being the best version of you that you can be.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
And some people's going to scream blasphemy. I once did. But once you can realize this, the blasphemy is in you not realizing you are part of Source.
Well said.
That's relying on spirit, that sensing that you can realize that you are one, and you don't have to be controlled.
No.
You are the controller.
No. You don't have to worship. You don't have to be anybody controlling you. You don't have to be in control of anything. Just be yourself.
Just be, yeah.
Work on you.
Yeah.
That is the only thing you have that you have power or the ability to control. Okay? You have no control over others. You have no control of other people think or what other people say or do, but you have 100% control over how you react to things.
Exactly.
So
and we should
do things in love always.
That's what I was going to say. Do all things through love.
Yeah.
When you can do that, it is so life-changing.
Yeah.
It really is. It raises that vibration and just puts out this wonderful energy for the inner the inner self, the outer self, and everything else to feel and connect with.
And always keep this in mind. I love how this person brings it out. And we'll go ahead and wrap up with this thought here, that love is the highest vibrational frequency that there is.
Very true. Very true.
And what is love? Well, love is source. Love is what we call God. So when you tune into love, when you become a loving soul, that's God operating in you, or source operating through you, should I say.
Yes.
With that thought in mind,
Yay.
we love you all. Don't forget to go to the website. That's NDE world for more information, guys.
And in going, not only going to the website, but also we are on many platforms out there. Go to your favorite app and download, if it's iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, whatever, YouTube. We are out there on many, many platforms, guys. You don't have to go just to our website. Our website has a lot of information on it, but you can listen on other platforms as well.
Yes. Now, the reason why we plug the website, because the website is the easiest way to do it. So instead of you trying to go out to 100 different platforms, go to the website. It has all of those platforms on it. That's why it's so much easier for someone to go to NDE.world than to remember all those platforms.
Yeah.
Once you go there, find your platform. So like, for example, I like Spotify. Okay. Well, like Daphne said, we are on Spotify. Okay. We're on Pandora. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on tons and tons of platforms, so she's right there. So yeah, you can go to those platforms and type in NDE World Podcast. You'll definitely can bring us up with that as well. Or like I said, just go to NDE.world. And everything's already been, broken down in sections, topics, and you've got sections where you can actually go and select whatever platform you choose to even listen to that particular episode in. So it's just so much easier. I just thought I'd put that in there. Yes, but anyway, any final comments?
Live and love.
Love and let love.
And love and let live.
We love you all. May peace be with you all. Until next time.
Y'all let your light shine.
For information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.